guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and please do leave a comment below. So my ingredients for my Nigerian fried rice, we have the carrots. So these are the frozen carrots. This is from the McCain brand. These are diced. Then we have the normal bell peppers, the red, yellow and green. So I bought these from Spar. They came in a packet that looks like this. Then we have the corn. So these are the whole corn. I think it's in brine, yeah. So whole corn, sweet corn, actually in brine. Then we have here our onions. These are not very finely chopped. I mean, they're just chopped, you don't want thick chunks in there. Then you have your crushed ginger. And then you also have your chopped garlic. Garlic always adds a nice flavor to food, So don't forget to put your garlic in there. Okay, and then next we have the chilies, right? So this depends on how hot you want this to be. You can skip this. This is the red Scotch bonnets, also called habanero. These are really, really hot, guys. Don't play with it. For my protein, we have chicken. So this was defrosted. So make sure you don't use frozen chicken. It's going to leave some funny black stuff in your pot, right? Then we have the liver as well. So this liver I actually prepared off camera. You just put it in the microwave, put some salt and some pepper for 5 minutes and you're good. Then for my spices, I have the thyme. I have the parsley. Here we have some turmeric. Here we have some black pepper. Can use black or white pepper. We have some cloves. Then we have some whole bay leaves. Then we have some Raja curry. It's actually quite a lot of spices anyways. And then here we have Robertson's paprika. So you can skip the paprika if you're not, you don't want it to be too spicy. Then we have the cerebral salt. I think every household has this, even if you don't keep it in that, but I know you have it. And then the one thing that is not South African is the Maggie cubes or knor cubes. So make sure that you get the beef. You can get this from Sunnyside. Anywhere that sells Nigerian food, you'll get this for about 80 rand. So we're going to put some water in there. We're going to put about 2 cups of water in your pot. Then you're just going to put it on medium heat. Make sure you don't make your stove too hot. So I use a gas stove. So you're going to put the chicken in. Just going to place it right there in the water. Make sure that your chicken is like slightly covered. You don't want it to, get burnt. When it gets burnt, it has that bitter taste. Then you put in your ground pepper. I always like to use pepper whenever I boil my meat. So you're going to put about 1 teaspoon in there. Okay, then the onions. I use actually half an onion. So I'm going to use about a quarter of half the onion that I used. Just to boil the meat, just to get the flavors out there. Then I'm going to use a teaspoon of salt. Actually about 2 teaspoons rather. Depending on how salty you are, you can add more, you can add less. It's totally up to you. Okay, so now you're going to add the thyme. So about a teaspoon of thyme should do. Thyme really gives it like chicken that really, really nice kick, I don't know, I just like to boil my chicken with thyme. Then you're going to use the garlic. I actually didn't use the ginger. I think I forgot to put it in. So if you like, you can put in the ginger. You can just do the garlic as well. It's totally up to you. So you're going to just give everything a nice stir. Just so that, all the spices can mix up in the pot, get to know each other a bit. Got to, there's no social distancing in this pot, honey. Just got to mix everything up. Now you're going to bring it to the heat. So while our chicken is boiling, we're going to put in the Scotch bonnet or habanero. Going to put it in just a little bit of water, right? And then I'm going to use a very, very small blender. And then I'm going to blend. This is the blend I use for my smoothies. Let's check quickly up on the meat. The meat is boiling. The juices are juicifying. The meat is getting colored. The juices, well, don't worry about the juices because this is really what we need for the rice, right? We need the stock, and now we're going to add the Maggie cubes in there as well, just to give it a bit of a flavor. I mean, yeah, there's no fried rice without Maggie cubes, to be very honest. I'd rather not make the rice at all. So you're just going to crush it up, 2 of the cubes, so it comes 2 inside. You're just going to crush it up, and you're going to put it in your pot, and then you just empty everything out there. And then, yeah, I mean, add your paprika as well. This is the best time to add the paprika, just so that it can, the flavor can kick into the chicken as well, so it can get absorbed nicely. It's gonna discolor your sauce a little bit, but that's totally fine. So here you're gonna transfer your stock into a hot pot. Guys, do not use any other pot, no matter what anybody says. Okay, so now we're gonna put in the parsley. Just about like half, a little bit less than half of a teaspoon. It's just to give it like this nice herby flavor, You're just gonna put it in there. And then you're gonna add cloves. Be very careful with cloves. Cloves are very, very strong. Okay, you're gonna need about 3 or 4, and also memorize how your cloves look like, because you're gonna go digging in there. You're gonna go dig them out, because I can't imagine anybody taking a big chunk of clove in their mouth. All right, so you just gotta put in. There goes 1. There goes my first one. Then 2, 3, 4. Then you're gonna put turmeric. The reason I use turmeric is because our curry in South Africa doesn't actually give it, the fried rice that yellow color. So that's why I add that in my rice, and then a little bit more thyme. So if you've noticed, this is like my second or third time I'm adding thyme. You add it in stages, right? So that now I need my thyme to be more potent in this stock, because that's where the rice is going to go in. Then you're going to put in the bay leaves. You're going to put about 3 or 4 leaves in there. Bay leaves are very strong as well. So do not, mistakenly chew on them or anything like that. So let's give everything a stir, and you're going to let it sizzle for about, let's say, 5 minutes. Then after 5 minutes, in goes your habanero. Be careful with this, guys. This chili is potent. So now for you to know that your stock is actually ready, you need to, when you pick it up, you'll see a little bit of oil. And remember, we didn't put any oil in here. It's the oils from the chicken. Now you're going to add your rice. This rice has already been washed. Make sure you wash your rice, guys. Make sure you wash your rice. Now, remember I said we're going to go digging in for those cloves? You're right. Here we go. Now you're going to make sure you take them out. Remember how many you put in there, because you got to take all of them out. Just take them out. Give it a stir. Keep digging. Go dig for gold, honey. Dig, 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 dig. Now our rice has been boiling. When you know that it's time to put in more water, you'll see these small dots all around your rice. So now you're going to add 2 cups. No, wait, a cup, 1 cup. 1 cup at a time, guys, not 2. 1 cup at a time. So after you add your cup, you're just going to give it like not really a stir, just like a poke. You don't want to stir it up, because you don't want all your water to go to the bottom. Then your rice is going to burn before it's time, okay? So you're just going to like prick here and there. Just give it a bit of a tease, a bit of a rub. You got to be gentle with the rice, honey. You got to be gentle with the rice. So now that your rice has, cooked a little bit more, you're just going to give it a stir now to make sure that everything is mixing together. And remember, you're always going to take about a few grains, let's say about 3 or 4 grains, have a taste, see how hard the rice is. Nobody can tell you. You can't just tell, but just by looking at it, you got to put it in your mouth, you got to taste it. Then you'll know if the salt is all right. You'll know whether to add anything else. Most importantly, at this stage is the hardness of the rice. You don't want to drown the rice in water, because then you're going to lose your taste, honey. And there's nothing worse than having to sieve out water from your fried rice, or it being very mushy. Because remember, it's fried rice, not boiled rice, not drowned rice, fried rice. Once the rice is cooked, transfer it into another container. Wash your pot, make sure you dry it up nicely with a tissue towel. Then you're going to add in your oil. So now that's the oil that has been added in there. You're just going to test it with a small piece of onion, and if it sizzles, you can add the rest in. Then you're gonna make half. So I'm gonna cook my fried rice in 2 batches, okay? So I'm gonna put half of every ingredient that goes in there, half of everything. Easy does it. So I've done my liver off camera, put it in the microwave as I mentioned before, and then I just put a bit of black pepper and a bit of salt. It looked really nasty. It's not something that I really wanted to do on camera. I mean, oh yes, and another thing, you can add peas to this mixture as well. I'm not a big fan of peas. I left it out. Yeah, that's just what I decided to do. So you're gonna stir everything up and then make sure you fry everything. Once everything is fried, you're gonna gradually add in your rice. Do not put everything in at once. You're gonna be sorry. You're gonna put in small batches, you know, just like everything in life, you gotta take it one step at a time. Okay, you're gonna put in the rice, make sure it gets to know the other kids in the pot, make sure they get along, make sure there's space, make sure everything is good and well. Then you keep putting more rice and more rice. I mean, you can't just move into someone's house. You first take your toiletries, then you take your clothes, yeah, and so forth. So now that everybody's getting along nicely, now you're just gonna mix them up before it sticks to the pot. So you gotta be very fast with this process, okay? Make sure that the grains of the rice get covered with the oil. That's the only way the rice grains, or yeah, the individual rice grains are gonna fry nicely and fully. Because also it depends on your heat. At this time, don't make your heat too hot. If you make it too hot, your rice is gonna burn to the bottom of the pot. This stage, you can now add just a little bit of salt. Make sure you taste your food first though before you go salting everything in the pot, okay? Make sure you taste your food, and if it's it doesn't have enough salt, then you can add your salt. Now you're gonna fry until your rice kind of looks like it can't fry anymore. It just gets stuck to the bottom of the pot. But make sure that you do not scramble your rice, guys. This is not scrambled rice, this is fried rice. Take care of those grains. Do not break them in half, because your rice will not look cute, okay? So now this is a little hack that I do. Once the rice is burnt at the bottom of the pot, you put in water and a hell lot of salt. You can do this when you make eggs. You can do this anytime actually when you burn something to the bottom of your pot. It's going to make it not completely easy, but it's gonna help. It's gonna be worthwhile. Since I'm only using one pot here, I only have one of these big hot pots. That's why I'm using the salt. So I'm just gonna let it sizzle for about 3 to 5 minutes. Scrub kaskirpoto and put it back on. Now I'm gonna add the salt. Make sure that your pot is dry, or else there's gonna be a fireworks party in there, and you, my friend, are gonna get burned. You're gonna be the victim. Okay, so now you're gonna add your onions, and then you're gonna add the rest of your bell peppers. So remember, in the beginning we did half of everything, right? Now you're going to just finish it off, and be careful with the brine, the corn in brine, as well as the carrots. Make sure you squeeze them a little bit just to get rid of the liquids, because oil and water do not mix, and you're gonna get caught up in the middle. So give everything a nice stir. Stir. So now you're gonna give everything a nice final stir, and we're gonna put in the rice. This is the last portion of rice that was left over. So now you're gonna put it little by little. Make sure you put it little by little. Do not pour everything in at the same time. Mix it up real good. Make sure the grains are covered with oil. And you're just going to continue with the step. And I'm going to fast forward because you already know this. Y'all got this. Okay. So now we're just going to mix it up nicely. Add salt to this batch just for taste. I mean, if you don't feel like it needs salt, make sure that you taste, guys. If you feel like it doesn't need any salt, you can skip this step and just go ahead to the mixing. Make sure that you mix from the bottom up. Since there's nothing stuck to the bottom of the pot yet, make sure that you use this to your advantage, and make sure that you do not break these grains. Do not break them. Just gonna mix them, and when you want to turn it, you're just gonna kind of like scoop it from the bottom and then turn it, and then yeah, you're just gonna continue. Be gentle, guys. Be gentle, be loving, and yeah, this is just a fast forward. Okay, so now the rice looks done. We're done, guys. We're finally done. So this is what the rice looks like. This is our first batch. So I'm gonna mix up the second batch. I'm just gonna pour it here in this glass oven dish. I like using glass. It looks really nice. It looks really fancy, and it looks like yeah, we are within. We are within. It really looks like we are within. Okay, so now use the very same technique, bottom up, kind of like just shift and shuffle. Do not mix, do not break, do not scramble, do not do any funny things. Just make sure that you mix the rice up very nicely. Okay, you can just do that. Just mix. And here we have it, guys. Our fried rice using South African ingredients. Nigerian fried rice, honey. It tastes good. So now I dished up for my hubby, and you can serve it with plantain, fried chicken, and the sauce. And as you can see, I used my bay leaf for garnishing. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for visiting my channel. Have a good one, guys. Bye.